All right, all right, all right. I need everybody to tap in. Welcome to Relationship Chronicles with Okiymo. And tonight I have an awesome panel. Ladies and gentlemen, tap in, share, share, share. And today we're gonna get to know each panelist and share our um, our experiences, maybe give some tips and um let's talk about it. Let's talk about this thing we call being single and reinventing ourselves. That's what we're talking about today. And especially during these times that we're in right now, which is this pandemic, right? So
Right.
I'm gonna let each person introduce themselves. And from my end, I'm gonna go right to left and down to Dre. Okay. All right, let's start with
So you want me
Melissa.
to?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna start with you.
Hi. Okay, great. Hi. It's actually me, Alyssa. um,
Melissa.
yes, me, Alyssa. I live in Maryland. I'm great. I'm glad to be on this panel. What would you like to know about me? Just I'm here. I'm single. I'm here to give some advice and also receive some advice and participate in this wonderful panel tonight.
And if you don't mind sharing your a little background, like I'm Okimo, I'm a counselor. What do you do?
Okay. Great. So I'm in education. Been in education for about 20 years. Right now, I do correctional education with women, helping them to earn their GED. And then on the side, I do some real estate. I sell some houses and things in the state of Maryland.
Thank you, Melissa. Am I saying that right?
Yes, you were.
All right. Thank you. Jasmine, Soul War in the house. Woo woo.
And I'm also
Yes.
your soul.
I know, I see. I'm pulling it out up in this mug. Okay. That's right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jazz.
I'm Jasmine, and I am from Detroit, born and raised. And let's see, I have two boys. I'm 33. I'm currently working on my master's in adult education and training, and I'm working on my certification to become a high school English teacher. And I currently work at a factory.
All right, sis. Okay, Dre. Hey, Dre.
Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all all right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, I'm Dre. I'm currently a jack of all trades. I'm shut down because of COVID, but as far as employment, and that's about it.
Welcome, Dre. Okay, forward girl, looking all fabulous. Come on now, sis. Shamika, tell us about you. Mic off.
He's on mute.
Yeah, you on mute, sis.
Oh,
There
sorry.
you go. There you go.
My name is Shamika Johnson. I'm a senior real estate accountant in the Dallas area. I am a divorced mother of four, and I've been single for, I guess, about almost 3 years now. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, my brother Fred. Can he hear us? Hey, Fred, your turn.
Yeah, how you doing? Can you guys hear me?
Now
Can
we
you hear me?
can.
Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, y'all
Now
can hear
we
me now? Okay.
can.
My name is Fred. I'm a. Is there a echo with me? No. My name is Fred. I'm a trainer at Blue Cross. Phi Beta Sigma. Blue for the day I die.
Okay.
Uh, I have two sons, 22 and 18. And also I'm working on my beard oil that's coming out soon. And I've been single for a long time, for about 14 years. So I'm just right now. I'm just enjoying, having quote unquote freedom because my kids stay at themselves.
Okay. Now, Fred, when you get a chance, I don't know, is it the signal? But can y'all hear him pretty good, or
He's a little
You
muffled.
know?
he's a little muffled
Okay.
on that
You know
end? You
what?
gotta.
Let me go and go back
Somebody
in, okay?
said. Somebody said, "Can somebody mute their computer because there's an echo?" Who's that? Oh, okay. All right, Davey, your turn, big brother.
Hello.
Hey, how y'all
I-
doing? Um, can you reiterate the questions I'm responding to?
Oh, okay. Just told them to introduce themselves.
Oh, how y'all doing? My name is my sister call me Davy, aka Davion. Um, Currently reside here in the Michigan area, um, Tri-County area. I heard people say their background. I suppose we're supposed to mention that. I come out of the biotech world. Um, So dealing with that pretty much. And I heard somebody say being single. Um, I've been out of that particular world, as far as married world, or uh, heavily involved for like 3 years. That's pretty much my story.
Okay. Okay. So Fred, I guess he'll come back on. All right. So I brought everybody on here because look, being single can be easy for one person, and being single is a nightmare for others. So let's start with the not negative, but let's for a person that makes it seem like it's a nightmare, what would you say to them to help them see it in a positive way?
I would say enjoy all the me time you can get. Like a lot of people look down like it's hard, but being single, you get to have all the me time you want. Like you don't, even though it get lonely, but you really learn a lot more about yourself. You learn some of your pet peeves. You learn, and you get to take better care of yourself. Your attention can be 100% on yourself. So I would say enjoy it because, like, I've been single, what? I don't know, long time. Anyway, but I'm enjoying little things. Like, I had my lows, I done had to have a therapist, I done tried, but now it's kind of like, I like to roll over and it's cold and nothing is on the side of my bed but my remote, my laptop, my cell phone, my scarf. And you know what? I'm not mad about it. I don't got to share my closet with nobody. Nobody checking my packages.
But you don't
You,
you don't have to you don't have to share your closet. You just need a bigger closet or his or her walk in.
I'm taking up all that space too.
Yeah.
I feel you. I can totally agree with that. That's like coming
Anybody
home.
else? Anybody else want to chime in?
I think to piggyback off of that,
I agree.
I agree, and I'm totally on my own time. So like everything is done in my timing. You know, if I want to read or work on something, or if there's a goal or something that I'm trying to work on, I can focus on that, and I don't necessarily at this particular time have my time split between that and maintaining or establishing a relationship. Now, you know, what's important to you is going to be important to you. So you're going to make time for what it is that you want to make time for. But, you know, like right now, I kind of have my time to myself. And you get an opportunity, like she said, to Jasmine, like Jasmine said, to really work on you, focus on what it is that you want, what makes you happy, and you can be unapologetic about it.
I love that.
Unapologetic.
Beautiful.
You guys hear me?
Anyone else?
Can you guys hear me?
I would say it gets
You
easier
must
with
not be able to
time.
hear me.
Fred, raise your hand.
Yes.
You want to talk? Raise your hand.
It must be a delay. I'm gonna have to. No, which is cool.
You
Which
said
is cool. It
what?
must be a delay. I'm gonna try. I'm on my tablet.
I don't know.
I will try to jump in. My phone might work better, but
Yeah, do it off the phone because you have to. If you're on the
this is
computer,
crazy.
that's the echo that we're hearing. You can't. It's kind of like having being in conference. You can't be on. Yeah, just it sounds better as far as the feed wise off your phone because you don't have a built-in mic, as far as something that you can. You got built-in mic into your computer, but you don't have a headset that can really pick up your audio and get rid of the noise, so you have a delay.
Thank you, Davey.
No
Sword,
problem.
what was you saying, Shamika?
I was just saying it gets easier with time. The longer you're single, the more comfortable you are with being alone, and it's not so bad after a while.
But why would I got a question? Can I ask a question? I don't. Why would it be bad? I mean, you were single and alone before you got into a relationship.
Well, okay. Now, in my situation, I was very young when I got married. So I went from my mom's house to basically married. So I didn't really have a lot of alone time. We started our family pretty early. So for me, it was a transition coming out of a marriage because I'd always been with somebody from most of my adult, we're pretty much all my adult years. So there's always that very uncomfortable, unsettling time after that because you're so used to somebody else being there.
Okay, can you guys hear me now? Is this better?
Yes.
Hallelujah. I got to say something now.
Thank you for sharing, Sword. Thank you. Great question, Davey. Go ahead, Fred.
Okay, what I was going to say is that I've been single. I've been divorced for about 14 years, 13, 14 years. And in all honesty, it just took in the last few years, as my sons have gotten older, I've started to really enjoy being single. One thing I do love is the fact that I don't like being asked questions. I don't like being told what to do or checking in. Because when I was married, that's one of the things that she was really big on. So I just enjoy it. It's really, once you get comfortable being by yourself, that's when you can really be comfortable bringing somebody else in. And it's to a point now that where I want somebody that you have to fit into my life. And I think that's part of the struggle that I do have is because you're not asking me where the hell I'm going. I'm going to happen. I see you when I see you.
Dead on the side of the road.
All right, Dre, your turn, boo.
I totally agree with everybody.
You sound far away.
I said the obligation of that's terrible.
We can't hear you.
He need a headset.
He need a headset?
Yeah. You need something, an earpiece or a headset to tap into so you can be heard.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I was saying the obligations of communication, the have to text and the have to calls and the have to conversations. You don't have to do any of those things when you're single. You deal with people on your time and accordingly. And if you feel like it, you feel like it. If you don't, you don't. And that's a beautiful part of being single for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
So those were the.
I barely text my mom.
What you
I'm being honest. There's the only person I text that I'll text regularly, that I'll answer regularly, is my niece. That's about it. My brother, and I love her to death, and I love my mommy. She's everything to me. I barely text them.
And Davey, what did we did you get a chance, Davey, to answer? Dave, your turn. Now yours is fickle.
Hello?
There it is. Good. Now we can hear you.
Mm. There we go.
Good.
Am I missing something?
No, we waiting on him to speak. He
Oh,
getting
okay.
it together.
Okay. I feel like I should put my headset in.
Am I the only person that missed jazz concerts?
I like jazz.
Man, oh, it's been a struggle to go. I haven't seen
I do
live
miss
music in so
going to
long.
listen to some live music. I do miss that.
Yes.
Man,
Man,
All
I do miss that.
man, some live jazz would be good right now. It sure would be.
You ready, Dave?
I having a little. I'm setting up my AirPods. I'm having a little
Hey,
difficulty.
Okay, we can hear you real
that,
good now.
Oh, you can?
Yes. So, what was your perspective on somebody that feels that being single is like horrible?
this ain't
Is somebody being single is horrible?
Yeah, like they might get cold sweats, sleepless nights. They might feel lonely. I'm just saying.
Are they doing too much?
Help
The way I look
them.
at it, I mean, if you desire that, I mean, but you still gonna be in your casket rotting by yourself when you in the ground or in the crematorium alone. I think that's the worst that life can give you. The only thing I can think of that's probably worse than that is being or laying next to somebody you really don't want to be with.
All right.
It's a lot of people in relationships that's suffering in silence.
Mm.
It's a lot of men that I know, highly educated,
Yes,
like my brother over here that's a member of Phi Beta Sigma. Happy belated uh, Founders Day.
thank you, sir.
Um, that a lot of men suffer in silence. They with women that they don't want to be with. The sexual intimacy done dissipated out of the relationship. So now it's kind of like laying in bed next to your sister or your brother. And I have 4 sisters. And Lord knows I hate when they feet touch my leg and they be playing with me. So it's kind of like you laying in bed with your mate that you're supposed to be spooning with, but you really reverse in the opposite direction when you go to sleep and don't care if she go to bed or he go to bed or who at home or nothing. So I think that's worse than being single.
All
That's
right.
me.
That's you. And
You're
we
dead
talked
on,
about,
brother.
yeah, we shared the positive. So y'all didn't share. Anybody else got any more positives to being single? Anybody else? Since you've been single,
Money, money.
somebody said money. Why is that? Why is that?
Well, because for me personally, you can, if you're able to balance, if you're able to look at a checkbook and figure out your budget, you will save money without having to worry about somebody else. You don't have, I mean, even though yes, that person can bring in more money, but you're in a situation where you may have 2 car notes, you know, these other bills that come along, so the debt that comes along, truthfully, because in all honesty, when you think about us, most of us, I think all of us are over 30.
Mm-hmm.
When we do, if we were to bring somebody else into this life, chances are you bringing a debt too.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially the student loan debt, that's a lot to ask.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that especially as we get older, we got to look at dating differently pre 30 or 35 versus post 30 or 35. Now that I'm 46. If I were to bring somebody into my life, I'm thinking about, okay, I got to worry about her kids, her debt, her car note, all this other stuff. And that's a lot in all honesty. That's a lot.
No, why would you have to? Why would you have to do that? Worry
Because
about all of that.
because her kids are my kids. Period. If I bring them kids into my life, I got to worry about that. I got to be
What age
prepared for that. Her debt is
are you
my
saying?
debt.
He
Period.
was saying if he was, when he think about the positives of being single, he's saving money. He said, but if I bring someone in my life and say they do have student loans, say they do have children and whatever debt, it becomes his
Right.
debt. That's what he's saying.
Right. That's what
No,
I'm
I
saying.
heard it.
They,
I had chimed out for a second. I had
Yeah.
yeah.
technical difficulty. I'm back.
All
Because
right.
in all honesty, my kids are 18. Like I said, my kids 22 and 18. That's a serious thought starting over with somebody who has a kid that's 10. You know,
Okay,
that's a
okay,
lot
we
to
were
go
just
into.
talking about
Yep.
that. We
Or
were
a
just
grandkid that
talking
lives
about
with them.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
So for those that, how many people honestly right now are thinking about maybe they're interested in dating again? How many people? We know Fred said it crossed his mind. Okay. Okay.
I do. I
Okay.
gonna lie. You know, I enjoy
What
dating. I enjoy
with
dating.
yeah. So the thing is, with that in
I enjoy dating.
mind, like Fred said it, and he kind of said it, and I want each person to speak their truth. What does that look like for you specifically? Each person will give a turn. So I'm gonna start with Dre and then go to Jazz, and I'm gonna bounce around. So just be ready.
To me, like trying to get back in the dating world is difficult. With it's so many people about me and me and me and me and me some more. It's hard to find somebody that's genuine. Like the simple things move me. I don't care about your financial background because I'm solid. I don't care about what you got going on, debts, loans, and this and that. We'll come up with a plan if we serious about us. Just to have a general conversation and the conversation flow and it's a good vibe and it's a good mood. It's difficult finding that because more so the women that I've come across, not all women, but the women I've come across have been more so about self and about how they can get up and how they can move and how they can be better by themselves instead of talking about building or even having a conversation about building. So the dating scene for me has been difficult because the pool of women that I've chosen from are shallow.
Mm.
Thank you for sharing, Jazz.
Instead of
Ooh,
talking
Ooh, okay.
Oh, before you start, Jazz, Katrina said, I guess this is Fred. She may not have kids. It will work out.
What?
That
Hold
should
on
have
to
been
that.
her
She
share.
might. She might.
That's
Well, no, what's funny?
Amy
I date mostly.
Thor.
I date women who don't have kids, which is interesting, and it goes well. It really goes well.
Okay.
But it's a
Hey,
whole other issue
big
behind that too.
girls, how are you? Hey,
Love you, Katrina.
I'm reading from our viewers. Danietta Oliver. Hey, girl. She says, I'm recently single and I look forward to getting to know myself better and enjoying my me time. So she's speaking up
Ooh,
early.
yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Go ahead, Jazz.
Whew, honey, where do I start? So, um, the dating thing for me is almost non-existent because I don't even know how you meet people. Like, where are you supposed to find these people at? First of all, like I live in Detroit. Come on, like I'm not gonna lie. It is very hard to find somebody who is attractive, a single father, and is not gonna get on my nerves. Like
You say not another kid, right?
I'm okay with the kid part. Like
I'm talking
have your own.
about him
Him.
being
Oh,
a kid, not
oh
Amen.
no.
not the
Mm-mm.
little
No,
people.
no, he can't. Nah, I don't like that. But
I feel a
really,
certain type of way about that.
but really, the dating scene, I think for me is just hard, just because I myself have a lot going on, and I've learned to become very upfront and direct about a lot of things. So when I say I go to work 6 days a week and I have homework after that, and I have two kids, it's literally like my days are planned literally hour by hour, minute by minute. So I feel like if a person wants to assert themselves into that, okay, I don't have a problem with that. Just make it worth my time. I get bored very easily and I really don't like it. Like I'm 33. I am a very big nerd. I love my anime. I love my Harry Potter. So for me, it's like a lot of men will be like, "Oh, but you'll make no." It's like, no, dude, no. So you don't nothing. You're not stimulating my mind. You're not saying anything about your life. It's almost like they just really want to have sex. And and I mean, I asked that, like, what are your intentions? What is your what's going on? Because
Good
I'm gonna let
question.
you know up front. If you want to have sex, I'm gonna let you know up front whether even if I'm attracted to you or not.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. Oh, I just want you to nope, nope, nope. I don't want to be your next baby mama. I'm good with that. No.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the dating thing for me is like. Maybe after I get my career together, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But hell, I don't even know where you meet people. Where do you meet people? Because I'm not doing online.
Okay.
Why?
I can't go
That's an
online.
option though.
Why?
That's an option.
No, honestly, why? That's a good question. Why?
That's an option.
Because I had a very bad experience online 2 years ago. And even though I'm over that particular experience, um, I just feel that a lot of the profiles I have seen are just very questionable people. Like I have a habit of picking in the past, I've picked project men or crazy men. So the good
Write
men
that
that's
note down. Project
online
men or what?
or crazy men.
Oh, crazy.
Are you saying projects from the King homes, or are you
No,
talking
men,
No,
men,
I
men
mean
she got
like
to
they
build up. Men
no,
she got to make better.
they just need to be built up all together from they don't have a license, they don't have a car, they ain't got a job.
So
But
why would
people
you?
don't be knowing how to people be needing
That's a
GEDs
project.
nowadays.
Please, can I please ask this question? I bet this can I
Go
please
ahead,
ask something?
Ash. Go ahead.
Why in the holy hell would you date them? Why would you sit
You
here
don't
and
be
try to date
knowing they
somebody that you got to build up? I can't get the logic in that. I
because
can't.
you be
A
because
man
sometimes
that you have to make better, that you got to make into a man, you're gonna think that you should date him? I don't get that logic.
okay, I'm gonna say this. Being older now, it's like, okay,
That's
no,
a
you're not
build a
gonna do that.
bear.
But I'm gonna tell you, the reason why a lot of women do it is
Okay.
because you listen and you all like I found out this about myself, and this is why I'm still single. I have a habit of liking potential.
There it
I
is.
could see the
Okay.
potential
Yep.
in you.
There it is.
And I know that if
I
life
respect
happens,
that.
because things have happened to me. I was driving
Okay.
around Bold one time and
Mm-hmm.
needed my license together. So it's
Okay.
like
I can
sometimes
respect
things
that.
are situational. And you
Mm-hmm.
just look at the potential because you're trying not to be shallow.
Okay.
Okay, I respect that.
I
Yeah.
respect that.
I have
I totally respect
with
that.
Jazz, my number one age.
I just couldn't understand. That's just something that to me I can never understand. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me?
I was just wondering, just to ask you a question. I'm sure by the time you get to me, you guys gonna ask me questions, and I'm open for it. But
Okay.
Don't ask me shit.
um, why?
Mute yourself, Fred. You lucky I can't mute you.
I
You can meet
hear
me.
you saying potential, but the real question I want to know is, how did they get you on the phone? What is it about? See, what I've learned is it's a lot of people that get with, or we just say women, because you're a woman, get with a man or have conversations with a man that they entertain at some point to do an exchange of numbers and have dialogue. But at
Well,
some point, or a relationship, or you get into it, then you complain about who he is or who he was. So the question I want to ask you is, how long is your vetting process before you sit back and have an expectation for them to perform at anything that you want, or so they don't waste your time, or before you give them your number? What are the things you vet before that transaction take place?
Good question.
Good
well,
question.
I have not come across that yet. Because at this point in my life, I don't if I find a person attractive, I listen to how they say and what they say. Like I have my bachelor's in journalism. So I like to play with words. So when men start talking, I listen to how they break down their sentences and the word choices that they use. And that kind of lets me know whether or not they a little bit more serious or not. But I can say this for the most part, because I'm a nerd. If you ask me about anime or Harry Potter, you're probably going to get the number. You probably are. Like, I could sit and talk to you about anime all the time. And then I think I get it now. Now I'm at a point where I would say I listen and I just get to know and I pay attention to their actions. But when I was younger, it was just, hey, you like anime? I like anime. You're cute. Okay, I think we can build the world together.
I get it.
Mm.
I get you 33. You 33, so I get it.
Yeah.
I appreciate your honesty.
Oh, you're welcome. You know I can't lie well.
But just like people have all this time to get better and better and better, there are a lot of people who spend that time getting more and more savvy about hiding who they are, making sure they don't say certain things.
Right.
So it's not we just go and pick up projects and like, I just want to fix you. We are nurturers by nature on one hand, but a lot of the time, especially when you get to our age, they have had enough time to really perfect their game. And sometimes it takes a little while to weed through it to find out, last week you told me you were divorced, but this week you told me you were divorced for 2 years. Well, this week you're divorced for 4 years. It just becomes a game where things have to unfold naturally. And so sometimes with women, or I would say with anybody, sometimes you get so enthralled with who they are, their character, they're funny, and then you're locked in. Because then you're like, okay, well, maybe I'm being hasty. So emotion a lot of times kind of takes you further down the rabbit hole, so to speak.
Down the rabbit hole.
I'm a Southern boy, as my mama say. You have to separate the feelings from the facts.
Yes.
So
You do.
And Katrina said this discernment is your best friend. Having the spirit of discernment is your best friend, which also leads to that woman intuition. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you may
I sit here and I say men have that too. Men have intuition. We have our gut too.
Yeah, and oftentimes women intuition be false.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it before.
No, it's not. I don't know about that.
Not one.
We just don't listen to it.
That's just like me saying
exactly. We don't listen.
There it is.
That's just like me saying black men don't cheat. I mean,
We don't.
We don't.
I know we don't.
No, that's not true.
What are we talking about?
Some of y'all get caught.
And there's some black married women that cheat, and
Yes,
we
they
know
do.
that. Oh, I
Fact.
know firsthand.
Yeah, I was married to one.
Well, I never had that experience. I mean, if I did, I don't know. I'm glad I didn't know, but sorry to hear that, brother.
Tell me if you gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat back.
One of our viewers, Dan Oliver, she said, I have to learn not to talk so much because you then tell a man how to treat you or what not to say or do, which causes them to hide certain aspects of themselves. Is that true, man? Can we talk too much? We tell you too much about use it against us? Is
Not
that
using
true?
against you, but everything isn't about you all the time. One of the things that irritates me when I do go on dates where I give you a story. This one lady I was dating, I mean, everything she told me about everything that she had. I mean, that was all her conversation. And the final straw was like, well, I got great health insurance. I'm like, I work for Blue Cross. Mine is better than yours. I know what your health insurance is. Please, everything isn't about you. So please, at some point in time, talk about us. Let us talk.
I think the second part of the question, bruh, is and I'm just going to draw the NPHC. I know you're a student, and I'm not. But I think the second part of it is you say it's dealing with telling people how to treat you, what to do, and what not to say. As if I could tackle that a little bit, just to broaden somebody's horizon, is you have to understand that the man you're sitting in front of is somebody's son before he's your man. And so you can't raise, as mama said, you can't raise grown people because they already grown. So why am I telling you what you should do? Because once me as a male, a grown man, tell you what to do, first thing you're gonna do is buck up and say, "You ain't my daddy. Why you use the parental tone?" And come up and be like this in the whole relationship or in the beginning of trying to establish whatever dynamic we want to go. So I think I don't think there's no such thing as revealing who you are, but all things will be revealed in time as well. So that's I think you just have to just rightly discern.
And in all honesty, I think guys, we like some mystery to our ladies. We don't want to know everything about you right away.
I don't want to tell you everything.
But please don't. Let us learn each other. That's part of relationship, learning you.
Yeah, that's
it
the
takes
fun
time to
part.
learn that. I want to learn more about you. If you tell me everything right away, okay, so what else is there? I want to grow with you. I want to learn about you.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question.
While you learning, are you out of the relationship while you learning? That's important.
Right.
Because shouldn't you learn before you decide if I want to be with this person?
Well, you're not going to learn everything.
You should
learn everything.
There's going to be a process to that learning, though. And I just want to jump in and say that number one of the most important things about dating, you have to trust yourself enough to know that you're going to make the right decisions and moving forward with your choices. So I think to the speaker that said that, maybe a woman shouldn't say too much or what have you, you have to know what you want in the relationship for one, and you have to trust yourself to be okay with what it is that you're saying and not necessarily go back and have second thoughts of, oh, maybe I said too much. Like my word is apologetic. Like you got to be who you are and be apologetic about it and stand on that, because it's kind of like you're saying, you're going to teach somebody how to treat you. And people are always going to have a perception. They may say, oh, you're too direct. Maybe you're controlling, or maybe that person just has a problem with how direct you are. And that's okay. That means that person's not for you. It's all right. Don't put that on the person. So, you have to trust yourself in knowing what it is that you want. You have to communicate clearly. And you have to also kind of have patience to know you're not going to learn everything about that person right up front. And like I believe it was Davey that was saying you need some time to vet the person. Like I kind of, when I date, I have people that I'm conversing with, having conversation with. Mm-hmm. And they might not even make it to the phase that I actually date them. They're just someone that I talk to, that I speak with.
Yeah.
But they may not necessarily have what I even want to find out more about to even date them. And so oftentimes people will say, oh, you went out with so-and-so and it didn't work out. But you knew in the back of your mind that it probably wasn't going to work out. So rather than
just because we're dating, just because we went out doesn't mean we're dating.
Right. But that too.
That's the definition. People with that intertwined. Just because I had lunch with you don't mean like we're dating.
Right. That too. But I think to even get to that point, you kind of have to know what you're looking for in conversation to even figure out, like, okay, should I even go out with this person? Would this be someone that, I know that we give people chances, but then also you kind of have to know what it is that you're looking for in the first place so that you're not wasting time, or that you don't walk away feeling frustrated, like, oh, there's nobody good out here. Well, you have to have a standard for yourself. What's that standard?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this. Are we going into it with the right mindset? Are we going into it like, this about to be my husband, this about to be my wife? How are we going about this thing? You know what I'm saying?
Your brother said no.
Because
we all like no.
And the reason why I'm saying this is because, let's just get to know one another. How about that?
But I think that, in all honesty, too many people jump into thinking everybody that next person dates is that one, which everybody, in a way, they want that magical marriage. They want to find that one person. That's everything to them. And it's nothing wrong with that. But I think we just have to be honest within ourselves and understanding that chances, that probably won't happen right away. You won't know that right away for the most part. Uh, you have to learn that person. You have to
Mhm.
be patient and date and learn that person before you just jump in and say, this is the person I want to marry. You can't have that thought process. You just the process I have is just I want to know you. Because if you become my wife, if that happens, that happens. If not, we'll have a great
Are you
conversation. We'll
are
have a good
you
time.
Fred, are you dating exclusively in this phase or not? Do you think she's
No, when
supposed to
you're
be
just talking,
exclusive?
no, no,
No, oh, okay.
Okay.
no. When you're
No,
just talking, no, you're
I'm
not
just
dating exclusively. Not at
okay.
all.
I'm just making sure because a
No.
lot of a lot of guys and a lot of men. I'm just going uh, side with the women on this part right here. They even though they haven't voiced it, a lot of men just can't stomach it. So I
What
just
the
want
other
to
one
make
that
sure.
date that women date other guys?
Hey, dating can be
They
anything she
don't want
wants
to
to be.
know.
So you
Well,
don't
then,
in that season, you got to be okay with not asking her anything either. Don't ask
I
her who
don't.
calling her. Don't. Okay, cool. I'm just making sure. I don't know. I don't know
And we
how
Oh,
you
want,
feel.
the
you can
thing
best
is,
believe, and to me, I think guys, I think we may be insecure about that, thinking that these ladies out here sitting waiting on us. They're
No, I
not.
don't
These
think
these
so.
are lovely
I don't.
ladies out here who guys are talking to, and they have the option to talk to guys too. Until you're dating exclusively,
yeah,
you
I was
can't
gonna say,
ask any woman to stop talking to any other guys. And then 9 times out of 10, we're still being honest, guys. We're still talking to other women. So
Right.
and it's unfair and it's wrong for us to ask these women to do that, and we're still acting
I,
that, and we're still talking. To
I'll
me,
disagree.
that's not
Because
right to me.
no.
Because I believe no woman sitting here waiting for me to call her on the phone and for me to come down from heaven. But
I mean, that's great to say, but the minute you take, that comes up in a conversation, I swear I'm like the queen of first dates. Um, the minute that comes up in the conversation, it's like, oh, well, I gotta fall back, and then it's like, well, we were kind of getting to know each other. We were, it was cool. But a lot of them, once they ask you that question, hey, are you dating other people? They automatically assume you're having sex with the other people. That's the first thing. Guys are notorious for that. And
then
then
they're not the right guy
second,
at that time. Yeah, they're not
Hey,
the
wait.
right guy.
No,
Women,
no,
I mean, but like I
no,
said, I
women,
no,
am
women
no.
think
listening
that
to
too, though. We
lots
ain't
and
gonna be
lots of first
selfish.
dates.
Women
And
think that
and
too, sis.
you know what?
Oh
But
yeah,
we're not that's not a deal breaker for us. We assume that y'all are having sex with a few women. That's just something that we assume.
yeah.
But
Oh
for men,
wow.
it's a different thing to imagine that the girl that you're interested in is maybe even having sex with somebody else, and they
Well,
naturally fall back.
that's
It's a
the
natural thing. I see it
that's
all the
the
time.
that's a maturation thing.
yeah, yeah.
At this age, I think Jazz probably the youngest panelist here. She has children already. So when you showed up, none of us was a virgin in the first place. So and we all know scratches got to be it. And so that's a conversation that I don't even open up Pandora's box
Mm.
because I don't care. I don't.
Right.
I've learned, and I could just, and I've been silent a little bit, just asking questions and facilitating a little deeper. But I mean, at the end of the day, right? What are we trying to do? Going back to your original question, Okimo, about dating as single and would you date or what everybody was answering. Me myself, I find it hard because I really don't date. Some of the issues that Fred talked about, dealing with children or a previous marriage or a baby daddy, or it's a lot of different reasons why not to date. But at the same time, I do believe for me, as I was cooking breakfast yesterday, and I called you on this one yesterday. I said, "Now I need it. Why the hell I ain't got? I live good. I do very well. Why the hell am I eating breakfast by myself? And I'm cool with eating breakfast by myself. I'm cool with that. But there's some things that I've learned only for me before I could entertain somebody else. Is I first had to understand what were my pillars, what was my personal core value, what do I stand for. So that's something that we can have in dialogue as we converse. Um, Through phone or web or in person, that would stimulate. And as Jazz was saying, I'm a sapiosexual or intellectual stimulated person. And so I would like to be stimulated there. At this point, physical don't mean nothing. I mean, I can buy every body part that somebody has until you they, they, they sell that. You know what I mean? Uh, but at the end of the day, to have somebody that's genuine or kick you like my sister, you know what I mean? I think that's the hardest part is people is out there. Or the last part is people just don't know how to kick it. I don't have
They
time. I don't have time to to dig through your past hurt and your past experiences. I don't care if you was raped as a kid. I don't care if your daddy wasn't there. Hell, I mean, I'm not as young as Jazz, but I look like I'm your age, and so
you do.
at this age, 40 plus, I mean, you should have had to come into thyself or come to Jesus with yourself and your deity and found some type of healing. And last thing I would sit back and say, what I've learned is that the most uh, attractive conversations for me, and maybe this will help you too, Jazz, is to talk to people that life has hurt and broken, but not their skill, and they can talk about how they healed and where they drew strength from. What I've learned to do is shift my conversations from what has you survived and how did you get through that and how did you find the strength to do that. Those are open-ended questions we could talk for hours, weeks, and years on. You know,
Mm.
I kind of stay away from that. I'm not trying. I'll let you be the counselor and God be the counselor. I don't have time to counsel you.
You know I love you. That was really good. That's really good. Don't focus on um those weaknesses, but go straight to their strengths and have those conversations.
Meet the
So
people in the first place.
what you say, Jazz?
I said, where do you even meet people at?
Okay, let's talk about it. Where are we meeting people, y'all? Let's talk about it.
The real question: when is the last time Jazz ever approached somebody she wanted to meet?
Jazz, when was the last time you approached somebody that you wanted to meet?
For what? You know.
Is it just, are we just what?
That's what I'm talking about. Why?
Because I see some men and I just want one thing, and then I see some be like, okay, maybe he might be more than a meat than some meat, but I don't know the last time I approached somebody. I gotta think about that. Last time I approached
Well,
somebody.
I'm gonna pause you on that. Let's see what Oliver, my girl, says. She says, "How do the men feel about women? Oh, women asking questions. Do they feel as if she's prying, or would they rather reveal things themselves?"
Um, I think conversation should be all natural. It should be a vibe. It shouldn't be forced. I mean, you ask the basics. You got kids, what you do for a living, a little bit of background, but the conversation should flow. It shouldn't be an interrogation. It should be a conversation. So to speak and y'all just verbally just talk about your kids, talk about your life, talk about your background. It shouldn't be prying because if it's prying and question, that shows there's no connection. Then I'm straight.
Love it.
Well, that goes against asking questions depends on what phase of the relationship you're in, right? It's stages, phases, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I want to know your deepest dark. As me, I want to know your deepest darkest secret. Uh, Not in the beginning, of course. That's we're past the beginning in that level of questioning. I think it depends on where is it at. I think the two people that's involved know and they can judge on how they feel or gauge how they feel the conversation is going and where it needs to go. I mean, it's not like you're saying put your house in somebody else's name or can you co-sign this car? You
Okay,
know,
you better not be asking that.
so, so at this point, I don't mind being asked questions. Um, I don't, because I want to ask questions about you as well. I have nothing to hide. I am legit single. You can come to my house and stay as long as you like and leave whenever you feel like it, and ain't nobody got nothing to say. So, other than that, if you want to know something more uh, about a person's DNA or where they come from, as far as emotional background or how their house was stable, unstable. Those are great questions to ask. I think those great questions in a particular season. As a man, I know it's three of us here, and two of the brothers say don't ask me a damn thing.
No,
But
hold on. Let me say that
No,
because
no, no,
when
no,
I say
no.
don't ask me anything, that's about when we're in a relationship and I'm headed out, dog. And then don't ask me what. No, I agree with both of you guys. In all honesty, I don't like questions being asked to me. Truth be told, but I understand in the beginning of a relationship, it you're going to ask me questions in the beginning of a while we start talking while we're dating. Now, after that's done, I want the conversation to flow. You shouldn't be asking me what's my favorite color and we're on date 8. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even need
If
to
you
know
don't,
your favorite color at all.
Then I'm terrible because
yes,
I
you do
want to
because if
know.
you don't,
I
I
you
want to
should.
know
want to know.
everything.
Anybody that knows me should know my favorite color that we
Blue,
date.
blue, period.
Blue.
Well, I
Royal
was
blue,
about to
pure
say,
white.
like,
There you
Yeah,
well,
go.
if
blue.
you
It's
agree,
blue.
the
What's your
favorite
Uh,
colors
favorite
are
color?
automatic.
but it's just I agree with both the fellas because at that point in time, when you first start dating, yes, and then you go into a situation to where okay, you want to learn my thought process, so you may ask me why questions after that. After on date 2, 3, 4, ask me how I'm thinking. But after that, especially if we're together, no, you ain't ask me nothing. We should have
Now,
conversations. That's it.
now we shouldn't be having those conversations on the date. I mean, we should have did that on the phone. That was the prerequisite before.
Well,
Maybe I'm just
Hmm.
but here's my thing: is that I'm not gonna sit on the phone with you all day. I'm not gonna keep calling. I got too much going on in my life
no, I
to
get
be
that.
sitting on the phone with somebody. I said oh, we'll talk and we'll text and whatnot, but let's have coffee. Let's sit and
No,
talk.
I get that. I understand that. I'm just saying where I'm from, and this is the blessing about different regions and different places. Where I'm from, breaking bread is important. We just don't sit down and break bread with anybody. If we're not vibing or if our vibrations is not harmonious, then there's no really need for us to even sit down. You know what I mean? There's no need for us. One of the things somebody asked was, because I don't even approach women no more like that. So for Jazz, when I sit back and ask you, when the last time you approach somebody, there's no need for.
Honey, it's
I'm just
been
saying,
longer than a year. For real,
there's
for
nothing
real.
wrong with that. I just asked that because this is the progressive woman era. So I'm just asking, not saying, sometimes sisters want a traditional man and they be progressive, and that's why their relationship not working. You got to be a traditional woman if he gonna be a traditional man, and if you're gonna be a progressive woman, then you have to accept the progressive man. But
I think I scare them off.
Yeah.
well, you in a different season, so you like, I'm gonna beat you down. Don't beat them down, Jazz. Don't beat them down.
I'm
But no, I mean
not.
for me in that particular, uh, I desire something more intimate, and intimacy is you see it to me as I see it to you, and I'm not trying to have time with people. So therefore, I'm not inviting myself or trying to ask you to carve out time to be with me or to meet with me. And I mean, I just told you I'm in biotech, so I'm busy all the time myself. We all busy,
But Matt,
and
may I ask a question about that for you? In all honesty, one thing about me is I'm big on chemistry and I'm big on vibe. I can't catch the vibe from somebody just sitting on the phone. I
well,
can't catch
you
that
you
vibe or that
you
chemistry from that person just sitting on the
you
phone.
didn't catch
Now,
you didn't catch that vibe when you got that number exchange. You should have had that vibe because women sit off
but let's say I met
experience.
her online.
Not necessarily.
I'm not unless you dated women. Unless you dated women. Unless you dated women. Let me have a conversation with your brother. He said unless you did online. Go ahead, bro. I wasn't trying to be rude to you either, sister. I want to hear what you got to say, but I want to hear what he has to say about the chemistry because I think me personally, unless you date online, which I don't do, I'm like Jazz over here, I don't do. But if there's a exchange, even if you date online, there's a chemistry. There's something in the personality of questions if you authentic with yourself. Some people be fake as hell. But if
Yeah.
you
But
authentic,
that,
I'm authentic. You ain't gonna catch those that know me. You ain't gonna you gonna be like, okay, that's him. I'm very direct. I'm very straight to the point, but I'm censored at the same time, and I understand, and I use chivalry at the same time in my delivery, so
Okay, so
I can sound things at the same time. So it depends on brother. I don't know how you are. And that's something that men don't talk about. Men really don't talk about how they are with their women, right?
and
So
we should.
well, not really. You really can't do that because if I sit back asking you, bro, you over there, what's up with you and Jazz, man? You go like, bro, what the hell wrong with you asking me about Jazz?
Well, I mean, my close friend. One thing about it is I have a good close circle of friends, and they do ask me about that. There's
Close
nothing wrong
circle.
with that.
We have
That's
that,
the
of course.
closer.
That's the close circle. I said if I asked you
Okay.
about, I ain't talking about your boy, your brother. You're gonna have a problem. So that's why men in general don't do that. You know, I really don't care. I don't care what happens. I don't care if we boys or brothers. I don't care how many women you have. You still my brother, my boy.
Now
To the day
check
we
this
die.
out. Check this out. After hearing you,
Mhm.
what I heard all of you all say, especially, Davey, like pushing it. So it's in my head. Let me say this. When you meet someone that you may be interested in dating, it should be something like Katrina said, something once they open their mouth, it's gonna hit you. Rather, that's the person you should continue to talk to. Now, you might not catch it the first go around, maybe the second time y'all get together. If you're listening, if you really are paying attention and really are being truthful to yourself, because you got to say, be thy truthful to thy own self. You got to be true to yourself. These people, whoever it may be that come around you, you're going to have a sense of, is this the person? Goes back to that in woman's intuition. Jazz said it. She said, sometimes we don't listen. I'm guilty all the time. I'm guilty of it. And sometimes I say, you know what? Okiymo, you're not going to be Okiymo. So then I have to say, Lord, is this the person for me? And guess what? Eventually he starts revealing it. Next thing you know, you are apart from one another. So in the beginning, I just want to tell people, just pay more attention.
How much time is that though, Kimo? I mean, I think sometimes I was talking to my friends last night. She's been in the last 5 years. She's been in 3 relationships, and I actually said, "Wow, how you do that?" And she's been single the last 18 months. So that means
Yeah, so which means you sometimes you might have to just fall back. Just
so.
fall.
But why? The question I asked her simply is, why the hell are you in a relationship? Why do you just go from me having a conversation with you to I know I'm your woman? Like I ask women this all the time. Why do you want to be in just I'll pick on me.
They can't, but you know what? You can't do it unless that other person is initiating. That's one thing. We cannot do things unless it's, hey, you want, I'm ready for you to be my woman.
I get
Okay.
that.
I
I get that. But
mean,
the
it's a
question
two.
is, no, I know it's true though. But
But
I raised a woman, my daughter. Is why be with a man you don't want to be a woman too?
You
And in
said
order,
why be with
why be with a man? And women can ask this about men, vice versa. But I don't
mhm.
date men, so we're not going to play. What men can do, we're not going to do that either.
No, we ain't doing that.
So the question is, why get into a relationship with a man you don't want a woman to? And what I mean by that is, have you learned what he requires of his woman before you sit back and say, I want to sign up for that job? Don't every
Nope.
job you look at have the roles,
That's a good
That's a
question.
very good question. I don't. I don't think that.
preferred requirements? Maybe
I think
the job is too much for you.
It could be. That's why some people bail out.
But why even get into
That's
it?
the vetting. But that could be too part of the process of learning.
So let me tell you.
Sometimes people realize after a second year or into the next year that this is really too much. I really thought I could do this, but then I'm gonna just be, it's stressful. It
So
could
let
be
me tell you.
great.
Let me tell you what I just told my friend. I used to an example. I'm glad you said that. So when I really did the math, I said it's 5 years, 3 dudes, you've been single 18 months. That really means you've been really out here 42 months in a relationship, right? That's 3.5 years. You've been in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship with 3 different people. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to judge. Who are we to judge? I'm not here to do that. But as a single person, what it looks like to me as a man when I hear that and I discern it, to me it sounds like you have commitment issues. It sounds like you make premature judgment. It sounds like you try to make things permanent instead of temporary. It
Come
sounds like
on, come
You
on.
make
you
poor
don't,
choices.
and you are definitely making poor choices, and you just out here trying to cling on to anybody that want to sweep you up. You look
Mm-hmm.
desperate.
Mm-hmm.
But but ain't
But
that the
it
bottom
could
line of them
be
being lonely?
Mm-hmm.
right. It
Yeah,
could be
whatever
though
works,
that
works
she.
too, bro.
It could be though that she hasn't reached that point in her life to even realize, like, hey, let me stop and let me really work on me and figure out what it is that I really want. I think that sometimes, people will continuously date thinking that, okay, I'm going to find something different in a different person and it's going to be what I want, when actually the issue is it's a reflection of you. So, and she may not realize that yet.
But and I understand and as a man that's of some age, and she was of age. She was 39. So at 39, you don't get no pattern. At 39, so why I can tell
Heck,
you
at 50.
right.
Everybody don't put you at the same
Wait,
level though.
wait. What I'm saying is, it's not my job to grow you up in
You
that.
right.
And so what I hear, because she's a friend, I'm just telling her what I hear as a man, not how you feel or why you made that decision. I understand that. That's understood. But what I'm saying is, when you make those premature judgments like that, and then you're so quick to bail, you don't have no flight in you. You don't have no fight in you before you take the flight. So in certain relationships, like the sister said, she was married. I was married before. There's a fight for the relationship. There's a fight to be heard. There's like, hey, I'm in this thing. But you don't have that commitment, or you don't understand uh, being committed, then why even sit back and say, I want to enter into a commitment if you're not committed?
Come
First
on.
find something you don't like. Love.
Because
So
sometimes people lie to themselves.
let me ask a question
No,
about
man.
Look,
financial
She
wait a
got
relationship.
minute.
man, listen.
Let me,
Look,
if I
Johnson.
could just finish if I could just finish this last little part that I was saying, take 2 seconds. But she was saying maybe somebody didn't know or nothing like that. One of the saddest things in the world that I hear as a single man is sisters is quick to define what a man's supposed to be doing on his role, but don't even
Ah,
hold accountable to a definition of how they supposed to operate. What did you do in that capacity of his woman? What didn't you do? How wasn't you a woman to him? If you're a nurturer, as women always lie and brag about, because there's mothers with children. So they ain't gonna sit back and say, because I know men that raise, and I'm a man too that raised my son. So I don't want to be gender specific. I mean, as a single man, I do. So I just want to make you aware of that. There's no
Your
excuse.
phone going in and out, Davy.
Can you hear me?
I appreciate, but we heard you, and I appreciate what you said. Thank you, sir.
Let me read what Johnson said real quick. He said, why can't folks just go out to enjoy someone's company? If things spark, they spark. Seems like folks are putting too much into all of this. Yeah, we said that.
Yeah,
Thanks,
because people want to
Jarrell.
get married. People want to get married. I mean,
Right. And I think people should say off the
you
jump
have
what
to.
it is that they really want though, because like on one hand, you can't put expectations on something when you and that person haven't discussed what it is that you're trying to do. So you're supposed to, you would think, you would meet people where they are, and then you express what it is that you want and allow that other person the opportunity to make a choice if that's what they want as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that we, both men and women, ignore red flags when we see them, and it goes back to intuition and listening to our gut.
Mm-hmm.
We jump into relationships and we know good and well we shouldn't be with that person.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we turn around, get out of that relationship, and do the same doggone thing again. At some point in time, we have to take responsibility for our choices, our poor choices, and pay attention to the red flags. And if a red flag comes early, it is what it is. Then let it go. One thing he said was talking about fighting for relationships. You can't fight for something that's not yours anyway.
Mhm.
So if you have 10,000 red flags, what are you fighting for?
Mm-hmm.
You fighting for
But
title.
I
Yeah,
feel
Dre
like
was saying something earlier.
I'm not fighting at all. That's like fighting against yourself.
Man, yeah.
but
Because
sometimes
people
we
have,
see red
man,
flags where
I'm
there
not
aren't.
fighting by myself for a relationship at all. We
Man,
both fighting for this thing.
I'm not, I'm not fighting at all.
I
Maybe I'm
feel you. That's a better word to say, brother. Better word.
I
so
want to hear. I want to hear with Shamika and then Dre.
Well, what I will say is in my experience, kind of being out here, sometimes we see red flags where there are none. It could be something like something simple like his phone is always turned around or turned down. I mean,
that's me.
something like
That was
that.
trauma for me. I'm just saying. Okay.
And
You
sometimes
driving down my street.
that may trigger you, but that may not necessarily mean anything. Some red flags could be like, oh, well, this person has two baby mamas. That doesn't mean that that person has a bad experience with either baby mama. It doesn't mean that their relationships are not intact with the other two. So we automatically go to this, oh my God, there's a red flag. And I feel like everybody is trying to mitigate the hurt ahead of time before it even arrives, and that stops a lot of us from even being able to get to love because we already see the red
We
flags
always
before they're
searching.
even there. We're
Well,
expecting them.
so check
And
this
Hey,
out. Check
So
this
why
out.
do we be together? Just be single.
I, I would
but
say
we're not meant to be single. People are not meant to be single.
Why you say? Okay, so
don't go for it. Let
Don't
Dre.
go for it.
okay, go on, Dre. There you go.
Dre, go Dre.
okay. What the young lady said is absolutely correct. I've been single for 8 years, and I always, because I had previous relationship, caught her cheating. So I'm always like, I was nonchalant. I provided, I protected, roof over your house. She had kids. I provided for her kids. We had kids together. Provided for my kids. So I provided and protected. So my focus was making sure I did what was quote unquote what the man was supposed to do, provide and protect. And she cheated. And I couldn't understand, why are you cheating? And I'm out here making the money. You don't even have to work. You don't have to do anything but make sure the kid's straight, and I'm providing everything. And then now, since that situation, I didn't know I was damaged, and damaged in the fact of, like, I looked for red flags. It didn't even, I passed good women up because I looked for reasons not to mess with them no more. I'm like, no, no. Why your phone always face down when I come over here? Why your
Mm,
ringer off and shit? You know what I mean? These things. And then, oh, that's your best friend? I don't do the best friend thing. Because the best friend was fucking, you know what I mean? So all these things led to trust issues. And until
mm-hmm.
I recognized and realized that I had trust issues, I saw a fault in any woman that I dated. So that's why I agree with you on the red flag thing, because I had my own trust issues that I had to repair and deal with. So yeah, I looked for reasons not to fuck with you no more, and
Now,
became a serial dater.
good. Thank you for sharing and being transparent. And that's what I was going to say. A lot of times, like you said, we people look for red flags. It's not that they look for them. Some of them just have not healed. Healed. For example, you could have been married, say 5 years, right? Divorce, after divorce, 5 years. But during that 5 years, what have you done to heal? What have you done to heal? Yeah, married 5 years, divorced 5 years. Now you about to get into a relationship. Now, guess what? Because you didn't do the right things for yourself those 5 years you were single, all you see is the last woman or the last man in your new relationship. That's why I always say hurt people hurt
Hurt people.
people. You are going to be cut and you're going to bleed on that next person who does not deserve it. That they don't deserve the pain that you have endured during your single stage. So that's one of the things. And I'm serious. I see it with people. I've heard it with people. And I'm like, how do you do it? So now we got to look at the fact of how being single, how do I heal? Well, first you got to forgive. You have to forgive. You can forgive. What do forgiveness look like? Well, now I can look at that person and smile. I'm just saying. Now I don't even think about help me to even remember what really happened because you didn't forgave. Now you like, well, hell, yeah, I know it was bad. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So it comes to that part where you have to make a decision for yourself to say, I'm going to heal. This is not her. This is not him. He don't deserve that. Now, here go the other kicker with it. You could be kicking it with that person. They just might trigger you. You have to know your triggers. If you don't recognize your triggers, you're going to be popping off on a brother and a sister. They're going to be sitting there like, I'm about to be out. Because guess what? I'm not hiding anything. I'm not lying. I went to the car. I'm about to come right back. I'm just saying, just some of the triggers that a person might have. I'm not hiding money. You know what I'm saying? These are some triggers because guess what? We haven't really taken the chance to heal. You know, I was in a relationship. He had two phones, one right here, one right here. But every time I will call him, he's never available. I'm just saying. So then I get into another relationship or friendship, and guess what? He might flip it over one time, okay. But then next time he might just sit them both on the table and they right side up. You feel what I'm saying? So sometimes we've been traumatized. I ain't gonna say we, because some of y'all might have not been, but something in our life we've been. If we be honest, we were. It's still trauma, y'all. Trauma comes in all forms. If you was cheated on, that's a trauma. That is trauma. If you was physically abused, trauma. If you was emotionally abused, trauma. Verbally abused is trauma. If you was neglected, guess what? Trauma. It's trauma. So, you know, like Shamika was gonna say we wasn't, I think she was gonna say we wasn't made to be alone. That could be possibly true, but you also have to remember
who was the we though, sis?
I'm just saying. She said we. Yes. Yeah. Now listen, hear me out. She said we, and remember that's her perspective.
No, I know.
The thing is, we all have choices, right? You have a choice to give that man or woman a chance. Now, what I want people to understand, to make sure, and I'm going to say this again, you have to be honest with yourself in this thing called relationship, because these are people's hearts that people are really messing with. You messing with their heart, their emotions, their soul, everything that's within them, right? So you have to be sure when you decide that I'm going to bring this woman into me, that this is something you really want to do. Like Davey said, some things are just temporary. You just was meant to be a friend. It wasn't meant to go further. You was just meant to be a friend.
If I can add something, I totally agree with everything you said. But we have to be honest with ourselves and honest with how relationships are. When I got divorced, one thing my mom, after she saw the struggles I was having, and one thing she said was that divorce is like death.
It is.
Understand? Yeah. you have to understand that what you guys had is dead. That's
Mm-hmm.
gone. That person's gone. That the person you married, that's gone. That marriage is gone. You still have to be, because we had kids together. We're still cordial. We're still cool. We're not friends or anything of that nature, but we're still cordial. We raised, I think, two doggone good
Y'all
kids together.
co-parenting.
And I thank God that she's my kid's mother to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to be honest with ourselves to get over that hurt. Once my mom explained that to me, and I actually sat and thought about it, and Ashley was able to talk about it, it made me feel like, okay, I get it now. That helped me get past the pain to where I wouldn't injure somebody else. So what my whole thing is that we have to be honest with our past relationships and recognize the situation that they're in now
Mm-hmm.
and what they were. It might have been great then, but that's over.
Mm-hmm.
So don't bring that into the next one.
Right, and it's okay. See, this is the other thing is it is okay. It is okay. It was a lesson. It was a lesson. It was a
Mhm.
lesson. Don't continue to beat yourself up like, okay, I got into this relationship. It didn't work. Oh my God, what am I doing? I got into this one. What? No, no, no. It's a lesson. It's a
Mhm.
lesson. Because the only way you will know if it's going to work with somebody is to what? Hello, date. You have to date. Don't give up on dating. It's an experience. Get to know that person
I love dating.
and help them to Let me
Well,
tell you, you want to
since
be a
I'm
friend.
not interested in dating.
Friends help friends. You help them because you can make that next person better than they was when you met them. If you truly being a friend, it may not be the person for you what you thought it was, but you help them to turn their life around. You may have encouraged them to get a better job. You might encourage them and motivate them to become something that they thought they wouldn't have never been. And that's because of the what?
Relationship.
Friendship. It's,
Can I say something? Can I say something
yeah,
about that?
Davy. Go ahead, Davy.
I think that word you use, motivate. Um, like I said, depends on what age group we're dealing with, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a daughter. She's a young adult, and I don't think and I got four sisters. So from a female perspective, and as well as businessman myself, and the black man, white America, ain't nowhere in the hell that you should talk
Hey,
about
block, block,
woman laying in the bed
block,
next to me. Oh, that's in my
block.
life.
Hey, bring me some ice
Already
in this
got
cup, please, sir.
you his thing, but
Fred. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry for yelling.
you all good. Um, that you should be motivated. I mean, we live in a capitalistic society. You know what I mean? And if you're dealing with somebody that's a slug, that you have to motivate as a man, that ain't the person for you from the beginning.
No, I don't know.
That means you trying to play mama, and he got his own mama.
Well, I'm not saying like that that's not what I'm saying. This is what
What
I'm saying.
It's not.
what I'm saying is he should come to you with his own direction of what God called him or his whatever he doing, wherever route he's traveling in his life. And then you can look at that and sit back and say, is that something I want to travel with or not?
Mm-hmm.
Understand being a friend or where he's at, meeting a person or where she's at. But y'all mentioned a lot of things in my quiet time on the phone. Y'all mentioned a lot of things dealing with this particular topic, dealing with kind of like motivating or saying why she or he ain't performing or what they could be doing or what kind of wisdom I can give you as a man. Now the brothers may feel something different. I don't bestow that upon people that I'm not serious with because I have to leave something in some type of direction and some kind of encouragement for my wife whenever she comes along. So
Mm-hmm.
certain conversations, the girl that I'm interested in, the woman I'm interested in, we just can't have. Certain prayers I just can't pray because
Mm-hmm.
that's reserved for my wife.
Mm-hmm. And I get that. I hear you in that. However, you know, the Lord puts everybody in somebody's life for a reason,
Fact.
for a
Yeah,
season, and for a season. They might just cross your path just for that one thing, and then now they on about their business. for that husband and for that wife. So, that's the part I was looking at. You know what I'm saying? So it was the thing. What I'm saying is, if in order to meet somebody, you said this before, Davey, people need to present themselves. The only way you will be able to see them if they have to present themselves. So for those that are single and they want to date, you know what I'm saying? You have to go out there, you have to present yourself, but also have that about you. Like you said, come ready. I stay ready.
You gotta
Stay
be
ready.
relatable too, though.
So you gotta stay. If you're gonna put yourself out there, and I hear Davey, if you're gonna go out that door and say this is what I'm doing, be already fully ready, not getting ready.
But I don't think everybody dates for the same reason, though. I think there's some people who aren't dating just for relationships. They're dating just to date. They may be serious. They're like, I know I'm not ready. I just like to go out and have that company and have fun, and I just may want to go out and be.
They're using the wrong terms.
Right.
The terminology.
Right.
So what would you call that?
It's not
dating.
What would you call it?
Dating is something on a more deeper sense, because women can get up and date 10 times a week.
So what would that term be?
Let me. I'm about to explain it.
I'm about to tell
you. Freddie, dating for me and you see, the ladies on here, they can go out 10, 15 times a week. They can go out 3 times a day for 7 days a week with 21 different men and don't spend $1 or a dime.
Where? Sign me up. Sign me up.
He's dead right about that.
That's the benefit of being a woman. You and me, we're not dating no 5 or 6 women a week. You're looking at an average meal, an experience is $75 to $100.
Bro,
you're not spending $500 a week on some miscellaneous girl. That's something that. So for dating for us is something more intimate, something more serious, and I think that's the terminology Okiymo was saying when you start saying dating. Because once I'm into you, and I sit back and say, Jazz, I'm gonna pick on you for a second. I'm saying, Jazz, me and Jazz dating. I'm not entertaining nobody else. My money, my emotional, or my financial, my emotional resources is committed to what me and her is trying to establish, because I'm locked in. So I think what you're saying from a man perspective is you're just going out kicking and having a good time. And
that's what Katrina said. It's called hanging out, Fred.
But here's the thing. But let's be honest. Okay, so again, a lot of things. Let's be honest with how things are out here. Be totally up front. You do have certain people. You have certain guys out here who's just dating, who may be cashing out just to get that person in bed. You may have some women out here who is just out here dating, out here going out with guys just to get dinners and things of that nature.
My thing is this:
it's silly. I'm sorry.
As long as it's a choice, don't make a choice for me. Period. Don't make a choice for me. So my thing is, this is what you're gonna do. If that's okay, you want to be honest. Are we dating because you just want to hit it and hit it? Give me a choice. Let me say, okay, that's all I want. Bye. Then leave. That's my song. Then
but there can be no assumptions in that, and the other person has to trust himself enough to ask that question and be okay with the response too.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. Don't make no decisions. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think sometimes some of us, though, we're not honest with ourselves and we don't ask those questions, and we need to ask those questions.
Well, they better ask them. Start today, y'all. My audience listening, start today. Start today. Ask the question.
Ask those questions.
Ask those questions. And you know what? Ask the questions, and like she said, respect the answer. So, for example, if you ask me, do I want to be married? And I tell you yes. If you're scared, then leave. Don't entertain a person if that's their goal. If a person says, I want to be married with children, you know it's not you. Then leave. Okay?
That's a quick for me.
I just want a booty call here and there, hit it and quit it. If you don't be making choices for me. Okay, just don't. Same thing for the guys. Nobody should be afraid to say what they really want in a relationship. For fear that that person, yeah, you might really like that person, but that person might not be the one for you. And we have to be okay with that. Don't and what I don't want people to do is string, you know how you just string people along, just drag them along, drag. No, you didn't made a choice for me. So my thing is don't make choices. And I'm talking to the audience, share this video. Do not make choices for people. Be honest, be transparent, heal yourself. Okay, wait a minute, I gotta read this, y'all. One person says, where you go? Robert. He said, what's scary? He said, what's scary to me is when I ask women if they're dating and their response is, I have a friend. What's up with that, y'all?
She's dating.
She's
She's
dating.
dating.
No, no,
I mean,
no,
that's a
No,
question you should
he's
ask.
exactly what
If
he's
you
exactly what the word I just said he
he
is.
shouldn't
If I
ask that
tell you
question.
he a friend, he a friend. I'm not
Okay.
dating.
So you said
And
take
somebody that
so
still
Jazz,
Don't answer that question. Don't ask
so
that question.
Jazz,
Then.
so Jazz says if I said it's a friend, it's a friend. I'm too grown to be lying. This is the
I'm not a
part.
good liar. I'm
That's
All
not a
the
good
right.
liar.
no,
So
man.
I'm
but
not about to
God
sit here and
But
tell you that's my
for
friend
having
and I'm
sex.
but
secretly doing. First of all, we
don't that
grown.
roll
We
back
got
to
time to be lying. What you gonna do? Whoop me? I ain't
No,
got.
but come on now. I can tell you. I can sit here and tell you right now. It's women I'm friends with that they'll sit here and tell guys they're dating that me and them friends and me and them we've done a doggone thing and we still do it.
Well, see,
So
no,
if
no,
that's
That's
the
no.
not
question,
friend.
that's a question dudes shouldn't be
That's not
asking.
friend. That's a special
don't
friend.
ask the question.
Don't. There you go. Don't ask the question, dude. Come on
Don't
now.
ask guys,
Friend.
don't ask a
Don't ask the
female about
Exactly.
question.
no
You don't ask
friends.
that question. She ain't a virgin.
Guys, do
Don't
not
ever
ask a
ask
female
that
about
question.
friends.
My
Do
thing
not
is
ask a
they
female
said
about friends.
I had one person told me, don't ask me no questions you don't want to know the answers
There
to.
you go.
Amen.
Assume that she's dating somebody else. Be the man, and you prove if you want to be with that person, you prove that you're that man. Because
What,
you can
bro?
best believe if you're that man, that woman will drop everything for you.
Well, I don't.
I believe that.
I
What
agree
day you
with you,
say?
but I don't. The part of
That part.
the part of proving yourself, you heard.
Okay, maybe I wasn't the right word, but you
You
know
gotta,
what?
you
I
gotta
hear
prove
what you're saying.
If
yourself.
she feels you, she's gonna want to be with you. So it
What I
doesn't
what I
matter if she
what
has friends or friends with benefits. That's the point I'm making.
and that's a fact. What I learned though, and we is that the woman 100% of the time chooses the man. As far as
Yes,
in that regard, and only thing the man can do is choose who he marry or commit to
there
be in
you
a
go.
relationship with. That's the only choice we have.
And
And
just don't
so,
make a commitment if you ain't ready.
well, we ain't gonna say commitment. We ain't gonna say you ain't gonna say commitment because I just used an analogy from my friend yesterday conversation. Is if commitment means seeing it through. So you want to be, and that's an issue a lot of men have. Just to be transparent with dating or with women, is you want to be close to me to learn me, then to leave once you feel like once you learn the things you dislike about me.
Ooh.
So why have you close to me? Listen, I'm gonna say it again for those
Say it
because
again.
I
Yeah, I
heard
like that.
the thing, and I know Freddie, you're not gonna hold back, and I want you to chime in quickly if I'm lying. He ain't gonna hold back.
No.
Is why want to be close to me or have a commitment with me when you know you have a commitment issue? You're not the type of person that see it all the way out or see it through. Like I said, my friend, about 3 dudes, 5 years, but single the last 18 months, which means she only the last 36 months or 42 months she was in a relationship. She could do what she wants. But exiting a relationship, what happened to the commitment part? Why enter into something under the pretense that we're committed, but you have follow through, see it through problems? And now I allowed you to come close to me to disclose, and you discovered what you liked, and then you learned what you disliked, and then you left. So why would I give you all of me to walk out in the world and travel my life just in my hands with somebody else? But I've learned it, and this is the last part. what I've learned is, and since me and you talk about this all the time, Okimo, is women to give you poo nanny before they give you problems.
Yeah.
Don't be mad at me if I accept the poo nanny and let you keep the problems. I'm
That's
not
why
your
I said the choices.
I'm not your
Is
God.
That's the truth. But
and that,
bro,
and that goes back to the choice. That choice to do that. You
Right. And
know,
what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying is that's her choice.
that's her choice.
And so you cannot expect me or a man or a woman, vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he took you on a trip don't mean you his woman, don't mean you have to commit.
Yeah.
Just because he bought you that Gucci, that Louis, or that Birkin bag, don't mean or whatever Birch, whatever Terry Birch, whatever her name is, Birch shoe.
Tory Burke.
Tori, thank you. I was about to say Tony Birch. Thank you, Tory Birch. I ain't never bought no Tory Birch, but I bought the other stuff. So
well, you a good one because I ain't bought none of that.
well, and listen, bro, I said I bought it for me. I wear it.
Okay, I respect that.
I wear it. But no, on that regard, there. I mean, I hear everybody saying, and everybody got their thing. But what I've learned is every man is the CEO of his household, and how he run that business ain't none of my business at all. And so before you sign up as a woman, as I tell my daughter, before you sign up to say I'm gonna be this man's woman, what is this man's mission statement and his core relationship core value? And do they line up with yours? And if they don't
Bro,
line up, then you already know.
you're speaking truth. Let me tell you something, dude. You're speaking truth. Can I take it a step further for us that's
Okay,
over
bro. I
35?
asked you to time in.
Bro, that I'm using that CEO. I'm the CEO of my house. Understand this. It's a business. After we've gotten to a point, we're plus 35. Well, we're plus 30. Let's say.
Bro, we plus 40 over here.
Man, bro, I'm
I'm
46 and I
plus 40.
love my age.
I thought you was 46. You talking about something we plus 30? No, go up another decade, bro.
I take all that long, man. I'm plus 45. I'm 46, loving it.
Okay, all
October
right.
21st,
Oh, you look
1974.
good, friend. Look at you,
Thank you,
friend.
thank you.
Period.
Don't let things stress you. That's the key. Don't let things stress you. You got God to put your weight on.
That's
So
true.
but we're to see right now as a single man. Truthfully, at 46 years old, I'm CEO of my household. I run my house, even though my kids they still live with me, but I run my house. So thought process that ladies have to understand is that, like you were saying, if you don't come into my house, you got to think of this as a business too. I'm not going to allow somebody to come into my house and then basically bring some non-peace into my house.
Well, that's
Right.
the vetting process. So that's not gonna happen going no more after today, because we're gonna do what Davey said. Spend time vetting that person, getting
I
to know
love
that
that.
person.
See, I'm writing that down. Man, I'm writing that down.
Please get to know the person that you. First of all, you ain't even thinking that far yet. Just get to know that person. Be honest with yourself. Make sure you've healed from those past relationships. And I want everybody to know that we do respect each other's perspective, because that's what it is. It's your perspective
Damn
and
good
your
stuff.
views. We're not asking people to change what they do. All we're saying to the audience is, and I think we all will agree, is to make sure that we're healing, that we're using that male or women's intuition, that discernment, like Katrine Gale says, taking your time, knowing your purpose, whatever goals you have for you, because you're going to see that in the other person as you're dating. You understand what I'm saying? You will see it. Be honest with yourself at any point during that time of being a friend or being in a relationship. You feel like, hey, it's kind of not working. Let them know, but that still goes back to the vetting. So we had that question, Davey. We had that question. Let me see. I wrote it down. All right. This is for a male or female. I'm gonna let you do the question. You my co-host. Go ahead, Davey. I can't hear you. You're muted. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can.
Okay.
So,
So the
my
question I will ask,
co-host, I said Drew, the co-host on that answer, that question.
I appreciate you. Thank you for allowing for sharing your space. Um, and this is one person can answer one aspect of it, but it's gonna be in three parts. So I'm gonna ask one. I'm gonna ask the ladies, and it's going for the men. What is one thing, or it's gonna be three things, but you only take one. Black men and women can do better. They can do less of, and that they do great. So sisters, you could pick one that says, and we can stick on or stay on the one question at a time, and then we can rotate. Is that okay,
Mhm.
Okimo? So we'll pick on you. Which one you want to attack first? Besides what we do great, you want to see what we need to do less of, and then what we need to do more of.
Less of.
Okay, cool. So, panelists, ladies, we're gonna say what are the three things, but you only take one because it's three of you. What are the things that you believe black men could do less of? One thing. Name one thing that black men could do less of.
I think in general, one thing black men could do less of. Okay, mind you, I'm 33, so my age bracket men a little different. But the whole they want a submissive woman, but they're not ready to lead attitude. I think they should do less of that because I'm not going to submit to you if I don't feel that you can lead.
Wow, 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 wow.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, and that's other two sisters can take it because we're just trying to find three things.
Wow. Let's see, Katrina, you want to go?
She can hear us.
Can you hear us?
That's Shamika. She hears us.
Oh, I thought somebody said a different name. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I think they could do well. Men could be more vulnerable. You know, not be
Less. We're doing
afraid.
less. We're doing less right now. We're doing
Oh,
less.
okay. I thought we were doing one of the three. Okay. I would say they could do less texting and more conversations. I think a lot of things get lost in translation when you're texting, and that seems to be a very comfortable thing for males to do. So definitely less texting when you want to communicate.
I think men could do, and I hate to sound so negative because I don't want to sound negative. I guess less hiding or less lying. Be who you really are.
So you want them to be transparent.
I want them to be transparent, and it's okay to be transparent. I know that maybe in the past, some men have been transparent and they didn't get the result that they were looking for, or it spiraled off into a negative conversation. But that's one way for you to find out if that person is for you or not. If they can't accept your truth, then they weren't for you anyway, and you're not for them. So, I don't want to turn it into what they can do more of, but
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to the fellas, and we're gonna get to what they can do more of as well. That's the second part. Yeah.
Okay, we talking about less. What women can do less of, right?
Yep. Just one thing. Not everything, but just one thing.
One thing women can do less is be in a rush. They just take time to get to know a guy. Don't go from we went on a couple dates to relationship. So I guess that's my answer to it. Less.
That was my turn. This is not gonna be pretty. I wish I wish ladies would be give off less masculine energy. You're not going to take my lead. You're not going to sit here and tell me what to do. period. And then turn around and then want me to treat you like a lady. No, we good. If you want to be totally on that level with me, fine, then we're gonna be totally on that level. But you be less masculine. I love feminine ladies. I do. And femininity is more than just me opening your door and what you're wearing. It's how you carry yourself and how you act. Because if you don't sit here and constantly argue with me like you're always right, okay, we good. We
Mhm.
good.
As for me to answer that question, I don't know if you guys still hear me or not.
Jazz.
Um,
I'm here. I ain't went nowhere.
Okay, it was kind of loud back there, sis.
Okay.
um, what I believe black women can do less of is having greater expectations of men than they do of themselves. What happens is, and what I mean by that is what I've learned is a lot of women, and I ain't talking about women I'm involved with, I'm just talking about friends and D9 and all that, have expectations of men to operate in a particular capacity at a level that they not even own themselves.
Mm.
As a man, it's kind of like I'm dating down.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
So the next part of the question would be, what do you think, and this for the ladies, black men could do more of? And Shamika, right? Yeah, I know you was leading in with that, so you can go ahead, right? So,
Like I said earlier, just being more vulnerable, showing who you are, not being afraid to just really show yourself. Some guys, I guess, don't um, show everything because they want to put up a certain masculine, wall or what have you. But it's nice for a man to be vulnerable, talk about the things that they struggle with, of course, in moderation, and things that they need. Be honest about what you need.
I I would say to piggyback off of her, men should be more honest, less prideful. So it's kind of like just be honest about where you are in a situation. Don't try to present yourself as being more than what that situation really is, because once you start that, you have to keep that up, and then people see through that, and it falls by the wayside. So it's easier in the talking process to just present honestly who you are.
Ooh, my tire still ain't got a good answer.
Look,
Um,
Gail, before you say something, Jazz, Gail said black men can learn to be nicer. Yeah, that was it for right there. Let me see. Oh, pride. And then she said pride is not a good thing. So that was the response to y'all.
you talking about Katrina, Gail?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay. All
Well,
right. Go ahead,
I
Jazz.
don't know what it mean, black man.
one thing,
I don't.
one thing I think that black men could do more of is being 100, and that not just in communication and honesty, but even in your thought process. Like even when we're getting the vetting process, we're getting to know each other, and you want to say something but you don't know how to say it. Just say it. Just be 100. Like, I'm not gonna kill you. At least I'm not. I can't speak for the other
Okay.
women, but I'm not. I like life. Life
Okay.
behind bars is not for me.
That's right here. All right,
Um,
Dre.
I think women can be more understanding and meaning of understanding my time. I'm very busy. So be appreciative of the time that I give you. Understand that I didn't text you right back because I'm working. I didn't answer your call because I'm busy. I didn't come and see you because I was asleep.
Fred, sit down.
Understand that I'm a man with a lot going on, and appreciate the fact that I gave you the time that I've gave you, because I don't have to. Understand my time is precious. Understand that my time is valuable. And if I'm putting you in this space to spend time with you and even answer your text message, understand you being privileged in that situation. So be more understanding.
That's kind of
Period.
Bro, you know what? We can end it right there.
Period. End the show.
Ooh, man, you spoke the truth right there. God. If I can stand up and y'all see me, I would stand up and give that man a standing ovation. Holy crap.
Did you hear that? Did
What
you
about
hear
you,
that?
Ooh,
What do you
he
think? What do
asking
you
for a
think?
lot. But understood. I'm not even going there.
In my face, okay?
Woo, man, thank you, sir. Yeah.
Baby.
Oh, my turn. Well, I would say I wish more women would take more accountability for their choices and their decisions. To go back to what my man said, in all honesty, women will sit here and get mad that my man got that we got time that we're busy, and then go sit here and deal with Pookie and whatnot, who ain't got nothing to do all day long, and then wonder why Pookie acts the way he does. Well, they got to struggle with him. Take accountability for your choices and the choices that you make. Understand why you made those choices and move forward from there. And understand you're not always right. Heck, I'm not always right. But one thing I had to learn about myself is that I made poor choices. I understand why I made poor choices. And I wish ladies would black ladies particularly would take more accountability for their poor choices and not blame others for the situation for the men that they chose.
Amen, brother.
In my situation, I would say I think women in general need to be more consistent.
Say what? No,
More consistent. What I've learned. Be more consistent. What I've learned. What I've learned. I would say all. So we're gonna talk about the normal bell curve here.
Okay. Okay.
Be an extreme outlier. But what I've learned is, and this is dealing with people, but because it's geared towards women in this comment, is what I've learned is a lot of women are only consistent about being inconsistent.
What?
Explain.
Okay. You just fast forward it. You get into the relationship or the marriage. We gonna say the marriage because we're gonna say that because that's where I hear a lot of married men have issues. And then you were texting all good, and then it stopped when you get married.
Ask him what he did then to stop it from happening.
Where's that accountability I was just talking about?
What did you do to make it stop?
And
I'm
this,
just
and this
saying.
is, and
Not
this is
you, but I'm just saying.
Where's the accountability at? Why you stop?
So this is
How many
might not be doing it right no more. What you mean?
Let me ask you that question.
Wait.
Let me ask you a question. In that regard, I have to ask women to think back when you were in your early 20s and 30s, and maybe you in your mood swing today. Don't know. Some of them in their mood swings in their 40s, and it's sad. And my daughter 20. So it's sad when you in your 40s acting like somebody 20. I might as well drop down to a 25-year-old.
The devil is a liar.
Not really. Not really. Youth, there's a lot of benefits to the youth. But in that regard, what I am saying is, you know how a young woman's mouth can be, and as a man, there's nobody that can disrespect a man like his woman and still live and still not get punched in the face or their teeth kicked in. Nobody can disrespect a man like his woman. And so you still believe you can disrespect me to the epitome of disrespect. And I'm supposed to still send you edible arrangement. I'm supposed to remember you on Valentine's Day. I'm supposed to kiss you and hold you and spoon you after you done completely talk about me like I was nothing.
Hmm.
But what
Can I
did
say
you do?
something?
Wait. What the real question is what did you do in the plural sense to make to get us in a position that I don't even care about what you think? Because a lot of men laying next to their woman and don't even care what she thinks. That's why he don't ask for nothing.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Bipolar.
That's a whole
But in all
I ain't
honesty,
got that
guys,
far in my
when
life,
we
so I don't
fall,
know.
men, with men, we fall really hard. That's why a lot of women will sit here and say a man can't take when their woman cheats. Because when we love somebody truly, we put that person on that pedestal that's amazing. You're
We're
just
gonna have to do a
everything to
part
me. You
two. We're
guys are
gonna do
everything
a
to
part
me.
two, Fred. We're gonna do a part two.
So
Davy.
the question is the last part of the question is, and the fellas, and I'll start with this and let the ladies in because I know you're gonna end up wrapping it up pretty much. The last question is, what do you feel that black women do well, do great, and the sisters vice versa? What do you believe black men do well or great? I believe that black women do well and great, uh, being a support um, for periods of time that they should have been exhausted. So they stick longer than what they should have stayed.
Wow, that's good.
Uh,
You took what I
Davey,
was gonna say.
I totally agree with that, and I'm gonna jump on piggyback on that. I feel like black women support the guy that they love or infatuated with further than they believe in themselves, and put more energy into them than the guy puts into himself. So I feel that that's great because in some situations it helps jumpstart guys, well, B, not alpha males, but the B males that need to be pushed into an alpha male realm.
Mm-hmm.
So some of those women are kickstarters for guys that have situations where they didn't know they were alpha male or didn't know how to get there, but they got a woman that believes in them so much that puts them in position or on a pedestal to be that alpha male that they were always destined to be.
I like that.
I I can't do nothing but concur with my brothers because I can tell you right now, when you have a black woman that loves you and that supports you, she can push you and she will move you to heights that you don't even know you can get to.
Absolutely.
Black women, I swear, there's no way in heck Obama will be president without Michelle. I'm telling you now, when the black woman loves you,
Okay, you better tell them.
I mean, she is a pillar. She is everything. And that's and plus y'all look better naked than everybody else. But y'all plus y'all, whoo, man. Y'all don't age either. I'm telling you right now, y'all can be 85, 90 years old, y'all still look better.
That's Jesus.
Man, but in all honesty, in all seriousness, as far as mental, it's nothing better than finding that black woman that loves you because she can push you to places that you can't. That's nobody else can push you to.
Thank you.
And ladies, what do you believe that black men do well or great? One thing.
Um, I love it when black men are problem solvers. So for example, if I were to have an issue and I've talked with my friend or my guy at the time, once he's made his mind up that he wants to assist or help and provide, he will get in there and he will make it happen. And I love that tenacity and that sense of accomplishment from black men. It's it's amazing watching you all when you're in motion to do that.
Shamika.
Man, they can grill. But no, seriously. I would say that being relatable. I don't feel like there's any other group of men, that are just so fun to be with. You really have like that, very instant cultural connection with. So for me, it's fun, to just be able to interact with each other and just kind of piggyback off of each other. And I think black men do that better, at least in my opinion, than any other group of men.
Dun dun dun. All right. Um, I would say what I believe, what I know black men do better is a lot of other things in life that lead to swagger and a lot of other things. But seriously, I love how black men are able to save us, whether it's a flat tire or you
That's what I'm
just
saying.
going through your world could come shattering down. And no matter how mad he is, at the end of the day, a black man will have your back. From the liquor store to the corner, a black man will have your back. They will have your back. Coney Island food, introducing you to friends, letting you know who some of the F ups are. A black man will have your back. He might talk mess about you afterwards and tell you some couple things, but he gonna have your back and let you cry. I need that right now.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Y'all did an amazing job with that.
I'll call you after this, Jazz, and talk about you. Then if you need somebody to talk about you, you say you need that right now.
That's, you know what?
Call tomorrow. I'm going to sleep after this. I got a bedtime. Y'all.
Y'all
Man, that's
did.
why you ain't got no bed. See, if you had a man, you can't be having no bed time.
Here we go. That's another topic. That is part
You're gonna
two.
have to introduce me to somebody.
So you know what? that was beautiful. Y'all did a beautiful job. I just want y'all to give one tip to someone that is looking to be in a relationship. One thing you live by, just one thing you live by. Your day to day, just being a single person, something that you live by that'll motivate and encourage the next person.
As far
I
as
go
dealing
first.
with what you saying,
As far as relationship, dealing with relationship, or just our
Just
everyday living.
your tip for your life one day. Just one tip that you
Give. You know, there's nothing wrong with giving advice, giving a handout, giving a shirt off your back. Just give. If you give every day, to receive would be the blessing. You know, that you never know what you're giving somebody that's gonna make them a better person or a better lifestyle. And then I heard some of y'all are educators, so you know when you get that word of advice that's not in that book or in that text message, and you see that kid brighten up, and then you hear that kid mention something that you said to them, that gift of that you gave them of knowledge or financial gift that you gave them is always a blessing. So I believe in giving. And in my everyday life, I want to give to help out.
Mia.
I believe that happiness starts with you. You cannot rely on somebody else to make you happy. So when you are getting into relationships, make sure that you are a whole person and that you are providing the happiness and the life that you want for yourself first before you place that responsibility on someone else.
Powerful. Dave.
I would just say be true to your authentic self. Um, I would say you need to uh, spend some time alone so you can self-reflect in order to self-perfect and then come correct.
Preach.
Real good.
Man, you sound bro. Jesse Jackson right there.
Shamika, did you go already?
You
No,
crazy.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
man, you
Okay.
crazy, bro.
Um, what I will say is to keep your heart open. You know, God uniquely created each of us, so there's not going to be a billion men who are going to be able to fit your idea of what it is you want. So just go through the process. Understand you have to go through the process, and keep your heart open, and just keep at it. And take a break when you need a break, because sometimes we need a break, but definitely keep your heart open.
Lovely. Jazz, you went.
No, I was thinking. I would say this is some people will take it wrong, but don't compromise. As my therapist told me, compromise for what? Don't compromise yourself to fit somebody else's mold of what they think you should be. Be you. If you don't like certain things, don't try to convince yourself that you like it. No. Be you. It's 8 billion people in this world. It's on to the next one. You be all right.
Okay, period. And
Mhm.
Fred,
I missed the question because my dog kicked my Wi-Fi. So what was the question?
one thing that you live by.
Be honest with yourself. Be me. Be yourself. I am going to be honestly me because I gotta wake up and I gotta look at myself in the mirror every day. And you have to be true to yourself. And being true to yourself is being honest with those around you. You can't be true to yourself if you're lying to people around you. No way in the world you can. Because you end up in a relationship not happy.
Amen.
So you be true to yourself and trust the fact that, like my dad before he passed used to say, he said relationships and marriages are like diamonds. Everybody's not going to get them. And it's hard to get to. So understand that if you're honest with yourself and you work, you're going to get that diamond, but it may not be every person. But
Mm-hmm.
just be yourself. I'm
Be
me. When I wake up in the morning, I'm me. What you see here is me. The Al Bundy and everything in
okay.
it.
Okay. Well, I would like to say I am so glad that we had this discussion. This is just one, okay? Because we're going to have a second and a third, okay? And I appreciate you taking out the time. It was a much needed conversation because that's what it was. It was a conversation. I want to thank my viewers, like Katrina Gale, for being faithful, chiming in, right?
Love you,
Sharing
Miss AKA. Love you.
sharing her viewpoints and agreeing to disagree and things like that. So we gotta take a picture. You ready? Cause y'all so fly. One, two, three.
You got a light on
Hey,
the window.
somebody playing me. Y'all know y'all ain't right. Don't turn it on yet. I hear it. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate each of you and have an amazing night. Okay. Oh,
Thank
guess
you.
what,
Thank you.
audience? You can inbox them with questions, comments, anything you want. We miss. We inbox all of them. Okay.
Tag us.
Okay.
Tag us.
Tap,
Just tag us
Okimo,
all.
tag us.
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
Tag
I'm
us and ask
tagging
the
them
question.
too.
That's better. Tag us
That
and ask the question.
it don't matter to me. You
And
can
also,
text me,
Pano,
please, me,
I'm
baby.
gonna inbox some of y'all because I want to talk to some of y'all a little first because in all honesty, you guys are great.
Just
You great.
just if you tag us on the site that you put up, that tagged us on, I mean, that connected us to Facebook, and just say who you with, and then we can have everybody that way, and then you
Yeah,
get inbox ready after that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did that earlier, but I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did it earlier.
All right.
Okay. Have an awesome day. Look, evening. Peace.
Good evening.
Good
All right.
night.
Bye.